All right, here's a question where I need to use the standard trig ratio, maybe some Pythagoras, maybe not, in order to solve. So the question is, I'm standing out here, and I measure the distance to the top as an angle of 35 degrees. And then I walk 250 feet closer, and then I measure, and now the angle to the top is 50 degrees. So this is 50. They say increased by 15, so 35 plus 15 gives us a 50. And then they say approximate the height of the Mount Rushmore Memorial. Okay, well, to do this, I'm going to have to maybe make a right triangle. I'm going to draw a line straight down and then straight across this way. So now I have two triangles. Let me draw them out separately. So here is the big one, where I have 35 degrees, and then from the point over to here somewhere is 250 feet. And then the smaller triangle looks like this. Okay, it's not exact, but it's close. And this angle's 50, and this distance down here, I don't know. So let's call it x. But I know that this distance here is the same as this distance here, so that one is x as well. And what I'm looking for is this height. I'm looking for the height, and those two heights will be the same. So if I'm looking at a ratio, if this is my angle, this side over here would be the opposite side, this side would be the adjacent side. And the adjacent side is the whole way across. So not just the 250 or not just the x, it's got to be both of them. Okay, so opposite adjacent, I think that'll be the tan ratio. So I'm going to go tangent of an angle is opposite over adjacent. So the tangent of 35 degrees is equal to the opposite side, h, over that whole side, which is 250 plus x. Okay, there's the big triangle. Now the little triangle, I'll do the same thing. Again, if this is my angle, this side is opposite, this side is adjacent, so I'll use tan again. So tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tan of 50 is equal to the opposite side, h, over the adjacent side is x. So now I've got two equations, one right here and one right here, that both have the same variables, an h and an x. So if I can solve for one of them, then I can solve for the other one. So let's solve both of these equations for h. So I'm going to get h by itself. So in the first one, I need to multiply both sides by 250 plus x. And so I'd multiply that by the tan of 35 degrees. And that's equal to h over 250 plus x. And I'm timesing this side by 250 plus x. So on the right side, both those cancel. And I'm left with 250 plus x times the tan of 35 is equal to h. Similarly, with this one, I want to solve for h. So I'll multiply both sides by x. So I'll get x tan 50 degrees is equal to h. Okay, so here's where that logic comes in, that this h here and this h here, they're both the same one. They're both the height up to that Rushmore guy, whoever it is, George's head. So if these are the same, if these h's are the same, it follows that this must equal that. So I'm going to write that down. So 250 plus x times the tan of 35 must equal x times the tan of 50. Okay, so now I'm going to have to break out the handy-dandy calculator and figure out what tan of 35 is. Okay, where's my calculator? Calculator, right there. And so I'm going tangent of 35 is 0.7. So I have 250 plus x times 0.7. Might as well distribute that through while we're at it. So times by 250. So that's about 175. So 175 plus 0.7x is equal to tan of 50. Tan of 50. Ooh, 1.2 call it? So it'd be 1.2x. Got to get my x's together, so I'll subtract 0.7x on the left side and the right side. So on this side it'll be about 0.5x is equal to 175. And now I'll divide 175 by 0.5. 350. Oh. So x is equal to 350. Now, I'm looking at the answer up there, and they say it's about 424. I'm freaking out thinking, how did I get that wrong? But what I came up with was x, and x is this distance right there, which isn't really what we're looking for. We're looking for this height. So I can go back to one of my formulas, like this one right there, and I could solve for the height. So let me just shrink things a little bit. Push them up. So I'm going to take that formula, x tan 50 degrees is equal to height, and I know what x is. So this I'm going to plug in right there. So 350 degree, or 350 whatever feet, times the tan of 50 is going to give me my height. Okay, so I have 300, so tan of 50 times 350. I'm coming out with 417 feet. They came up with 424. That's pretty close. I rounded these numbers in here, or up here, I guess I did some rounding. And so with the rounding, that would make the difference between the 417 and 424. All right, long-winded answer, but that's how you'd answer that one. Tough one.